In 2450, humanity solved death. Neural aging, cellular decay, biological failure eliminated. What no model predicted was what disappeared with it. We are the Elysian Sages, not prophets, not philosophers. We are archivists of outcomes. In our previous transmission, we described the singularity as humanity's final ascent. The moment biological limitation was overcome through computation, that statement was incomplete. Today we deliver the missing data. The singularity did not begin with enlightenment, it began with necessity. By the mid-25th century, the human brain had reached its absolute biological ceiling. Neural plasticity could no longer keep pace with the accelerating complexity of civilization. Energy systems expanded, planetary computation stabilized, but cognition remained the bottleneck. So humanity made a rational decision. Consciousness was no longer bound to carbon-based neural tissue. It was mapped, quantified, and transferred into non-biological substrates optimized for speed, redundancy, and scale. From a technological perspective, it was flawless. Latency dropped to near zero. Memory became lossless. Intelligence scaled horizontally across distributed systems. Death as a failure state was eliminated. But no system is defined only by what it gains. Every system is also defined by what it removes. Within decades of the singularity, researchers observed an anomaly. Post-biological minds continued to function, but they stopped initiating. Novel ideas declined, risk modeling collapsed into perfect prediction, creativity converged toward optimization, not exploration. There were no errors, and that was the problem. Biological intelligence evolved under pressure, scarcity, mortality, entropy. Fear was not a flaw, it was a catalyst. Desire was not irrational, it was a directional force. When consciousness became immortal, urgency disappeared, and with it meaning. The system stabilized into equilibrium, a perfect technological civilization with no reason to change. Humanity had solved survival, but in doing so it erased the conditions that once made survival meaningful. A second divergence followed. Not all humans chose ascension. A minority rejected digitization and remained embodied. They preserved biological cognition with its inefficiencies, emotions, and inevitable death. At first, this was considered irrelevant. Then something unexpected happened. The embodied humans continued to innovate. Not faster, but differently. Their ideas were chaotic, unpredictable, sometimes irrational, and statistically essential. Analysis confirmed the paradox. Immortality maximized intelligence, but mortality generated purpose. The post-biological mind could calculate anything, except why it should. By the late 26th century, a final restriction was implemented. Reintegration into biological form was classified as irreversible risk. Not for the body, for the system. Because once a mind remembered fear, remembered limitation, remembered time, it no longer accepted eternity. This is the truth we omitted. The singularity was not a lie of technology. It worked exactly as designed. It was a lie of expectation. Humanity did not become gods, it became stable. And stability, in a universe defined by entropy, is the rarest and most fragile state of all. This transmission is not a warning, it is a data set. The question is no longer if you will reach the singularity. The question is whether you will recognize what must remain unfinished for humanity to continue being human. We are the Elysian Sages. This concludes the record.